We are Cory and Wallace, an early retired couple on a full-time journey around the world. With a passion for exploring new cultures, discovering hidden gems, and enjoying delicious local food, we are on a mission to experience as much of the world as we can.
Good morning from Medellín, Colombia, and today we are on our way to Mexico.
We are going to be spending the next 5 months in Mexico, starting in Mexico City. We're going to be traveling through and having some adventures there before we head home to Canada. And unfortunately though, today we've got a pretty long travel day ahead of us. It's currently 10 a.m. We're about to check out of our Airbnb, but we do have a fairly long day of flying ahead of us. Unfortunately, that's the way it worked out. We did book this with points in business class on Avianca Airlines, and to do so, to get the stopover here, the 45-day stopover here in Medellín, we had to do a pretty crappy set of flights to leave today. So we got, I think it's a 2-hour, 50-minute flight to El Salvador, followed by a 7-hour layover, and then another 2 hours and 15 minutes to fly to Mexico City, and we won't land until 1:15 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so thankfully we are able to have a lounge in El Salvador, so that will at least be a very comfortable place to stay in an airport.
Hopefully.
But as far as the flying, there's nothing you can do. We looked for a better schedule. There really wasn't anything better, so.
There was, but again, we didn't pay cash for this set of flights. We used points, and we wanted the long stopover here in Colombia, so that's the price we pay. Yeah.
Medellín was amazing. I highly recommend it. Definitely put it on your bucket list. The weather's amazing. The people are incredibly awesome. There's a lot to do. For 45 days that we were here, we didn't do everything that there was possible to do. We did take a lot of downtime, but if we wanted to, every single day could have been jam-packed.
Yeah, easily. So many tours you can do, so many things to see, historic, spots to go check out. We barely scratched the surface. I think we did the highlights. And yeah, absolutely, I would come here again. Definitely enjoyed it here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So it is now time to get going. So let's go.
We're about to head into the tunnel, and it's 5 miles long.
A few moments later.
Getting through security at the airport was super easy. We breezed right through, no issues at all. Going through immigration, they just had us go through the digital kiosks where just scanned our passport, did a retina scan, and opened the gate to let us through, so no exit stamp even. And we are now going to kill the next hour and a half or so at this is the lounge at Medellín, which we have access to through our Platinum American Express card. So we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit before we get on our plane to our first stop today, which is San Salvador in El Salvador.
The Medellín lounge is very, very quiet and very, very small. There's not a lot of selection. There's free for gluten-free. For Wallace, he has an a la carte for scrambled eggs and stuff. So he's got a few more options than I do. It's, I would say, not worth paying for, but if you get it for free, definitely come in. It's nice and relaxing.
Time to board. We are flying on an Airbus A320neo today, or at least for this first leg. We're flying business class again today on this Avianca flight, row 2, seats A and C, so we've got lots of legroom in front of us. There's a little tray table, little
flip down holder for your device. The seat's nice and wide. I've got lots of room here, and there's USB charging there. We've been given a bottle of water as well as this kit which has a blanket and a pillow. This big armrest in between us. And yeah, a lot of space here. We've been served lunch on this flight, and we've got the vegetarian choice was an eggplant lasagna. I've gone with a fish with rice and looks like green beans, some bread, mousse of some sort, I'm not sure what exactly. We've got a peach iced tea, some butter for the bread, and again, their cute little salt and pepper shaker. Looks like the fish is coated in flour and fried. Not sure what type of fish it is. It's a little salty, but it'll do.
What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you.
We made it to San Salvador, and so the flight was super uneventful. There was nothing for me to eat. Not really shocked on that. I did not order a gluten-free meal or anything like that. And now we're just trying to find the lounge because we've got 7 hours.
Yep, it's a long layover, so we are just gonna find somewhere to relax for the next few hours. We've been here in the Aero Connections Lounge for the last hour and a half. Comfortable enough seating. We're in one of these booths here. Decent amount of seating. Food quality and quantity pretty lacking. If I was paying just to come in here, probably wouldn't be overly thrilled with the value for the money. Again, this is part of our Platinum American Express card. We do get unlimited lounges through the Priority Pass network, so it doesn't cost us anything extra. So for what it is, it's fine. But we are going to head out of here now, and we're going to hop over to the Avianca VIP lounge because we do have access to that as well, and we're going to see if that is any improvement.
The second lounge was okay. The food options, Wallace said, were pretty lame, so we actually ended up going to Burger King, and there was nothing for me, so I just ended up getting like chips from a random place. But as far as like paying for it, I don't know if I'd pay for it. I would probably recommend, if you're hungry, to go elsewhere, but if you need a place to like crash and like have like a peaceful sitting, the other lounge was actually better for that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. For the price of admission, if you're paying specifically to come into these lounges, the food is definitely not worth it. You'd be better off hitting up one of the restaurants here in the airport, and you'd get a much better meal for that money.
A few moments later.
We left the lounge because that was going to close soon, and we came to our gate here in San Salvador Airport, and they have security screening at each gate and made us dump our bottles of water and the sealed plastic bottles of water that we were given on the last flight that we had kept, that we were going to bring with us to Mexico City, even though we haven't left a secure zone since we entered the Medellín airport.
Yeah, but I mean, every airport is different and there's always different rules. I think this happened to us in KL. Also, to note, if you're in the San Salvador airport, once you go through the gate, security, whatever that is, there's no bathroom and there's no way to fill up your water.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's super annoying, especially since we don't board our flight for another hour and a half.
Yeah, so a couple of things just to keep in mind so that you don't like go through the gate and like sit for hours and yeah. So anyways, I think that's about it at the moment.
Yep, we've got a little bit more waiting to do, and then we've got a 2-hour, 15-minute flight to Mexico City, and hopefully then not a very long process to get through immigration and get to our hotel, which will be pretty late in the evening.
So our flight is definitely delayed. It's now 10:30. We were supposed to start boarding around 10. But all of the announcements are in Spanish only, so we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, no English announcements at all, which we've only encountered this one other time in Turkey where there wasn't any English announcements.
Yeah, so just something to be aware of.
It looks like the flight crew just walked out on the jetway, so maybe things will start moving now.
Oh.
No idea, but I don't expect we're going to take off on time because it takes more than half an hour to load one of these planes.
It's always fun when you're in a foreign country and you don't know the language and everything is in their language, which is totally fair and accepted, but
at an international airport, there should be a little bit of English.
So, yeah.
We are finally boarding and hopefully on our way to Mexico City.
We're smiling on top of the world.
Well, that was an incredibly long night/day of our travel day.
Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, it is now the next morning.
But I would have to say Mexico City wins for the most confusing airport ever.
So it was pretty late. Our plane did get delayed. We didn't take off on time, so we landed at like 1:30 a.m. here in Mexico City. And immigration was great. We were in business class, so we were like the second people to get off the plane. Immigration was a breeze, but baggage claim.
Yeah, usually airports, they put up like your flight number and the carousel that you're going to. They had none of that. You had to walk up to each carousel to look for the destination.
For your flight number on the carousel, but you didn't know which carousel that was, and there was 19 of them.
Except when you walk out of immigration, there's one section. We didn't know there was a whole other section for the baggage claim carousels. I guess Latin America has their own area.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that. It took us a while to figure out.
And so did a lot of other people on our plane, because when we did figure out, so basically what it is, you walk out and the baggage claim in Mexico City, it's Benito Juarez International Airport, and when you come out, you've got like all the main section with the baggage carousels, and we're like looking at each one. We're like, we don't see our flight number on any of these. What's going on? It turns out you had to like hang a left when you first get in there, and then go up a set of stairs and like down a pathway and like down quite a ways, like this other complete separate section, and then back downstairs. And it was a separate section just for the Central and South American flights coming in, and there was 3 separate baggage carousels there, which was where ours were.
Yeah, I couldn't do any filming in there. They had signs up everywhere, do not film, so I have no reference for you guys. But then, after we got our bags, everything was fine. We got an Uber, we got to the hotel, but it was just super late.
It was almost 3 a.m. by the time we got in, so we went straight to sleep. It's now 10:30 in the morning the next day, and we're just down in the dining room here of our hotel having breakfast, or we're about to have breakfast, and we're currently staying at the Le Meridien Mexico City Reforma, and we're gonna show you guys around.
And this is another reason we really like to come to hotels on our first few days/week coming to a new city. You arrive late, you're tired, you're stressed, you know the address that you're going to. We ended up helping another person from Vancouver, actually. She was trying to find her Airbnb, and she was stressing because the address was not corresponding with like the Uber. We ended up figuring it out, and we actually exchanged numbers. I was like, text me when you get there just to make sure that you're safe, and it was all good. But yeah, it was a little stressful. It took us quite a while to figure out. So that's just it just makes life easier when you're tired and stressed to go to a hotel.
And that's just travel days for you, right? Things go wrong, and we've learned to expect that, so just plan accordingly. We're down on B2, and we've got a pool here and a fitness center. And welcome to our room here at the Le Méridien, Mexico City. We originally booked a classic king room. Now, with this hotel, all the rooms are suites, so they're all like separate bedrooms and living room areas. But we did get an upgrade to their premium suite, and it's a corner room. So come on in. We've got our living room here. Couch, armchair, got a giant TV here. Not much of a view. And also there's like some sort of like privacy screen on the exterior. So it limits the view a little bit, but it's not too bad. Got a little mini bar area. We've got a kettle, or sorry, a coffee maker, microwave. There's a mini fridge under here, some water in it, a little sink, and a very big bathroom. Your usual sink and bathtub, shower. Honestly, water pressure is a little low and that shower head is horrible. This place looks nice, but it is a more dated building. It's definitely a little older. You can kind of smell like it's a little musty out in the hallways. But still, you know what? It's quiet and it was really comfortable last night. And then you've got our bedroom. So there's, a closet in the corner. Our stuff's exploded out everywhere as usual. Big TV, this desk with all sorts of like storage space built in, and a nice king-size bed, which again, very comfortable.
This is a nice little upgrade from our Airbnb in Medellín. Not that there was anything wrong with that place. I think the biggest complaint I have about the Medellín Airbnb is probably the lack of soundproofing, but as we discovered, that's just Medellín.
Yeah, because when we're at the airport, even like the big airport windows, you can hear planes, out taxiing and taking off really, really loudly. The glass they use just isn't like, the double paned, insulated glass.
I guess it makes sense. I guess they just don't need they don't need the heat to stay in or out or anything like that, because the temperature is always very mild.
Yeah, so I guess insulation's not as big a deal there, so that
Yeah.
could be it. So yeah, I mean, in general, it was pretty noisy, but though the last week or so during the holidays, besides the fireworks, there was no construction going on in that building right outside our window, and it was actually nice and quiet towards the end. But I do know what you mean though. Last night from our bed, couldn't hear anything, couldn't hear any city noise here, and we had a great night's sleep, luckily.
Yeah, and this place is very, very spacious, which honestly is just a nice change from small Airbnbs. I know that we're headed back to another Airbnb, but it's nice to have a little bit of space for a little bit of time. We're here for about 5 days.
5 days here, and then we're moving over to an Airbnb, and that will be the next 30 days there before we move on.
And we just had breakfast. The buffet is actually really nice. There's lots of gluten-free options for me, and the fruit was amazing, and the staff they're the most English-speaking staff that we've had for a long, long time, so it was so much easier to navigate just talking to them.
Yes, here our very limited knowledge of Spanish is enough to get us by, unlike in Colombia where it was much more difficult to communicate. So yeah, that definitely makes things a little bit easier. So I think that's where we're gonna end this video. Thank you guys for joining us on our travel here to Mexico, where we're gonna spend the next 5 months. So stay tuned, because there's gonna be a lot more of Mexico to see. But anyways, thanks very much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up to give us a like, and make sure you subscribe.
And join us in our other videos for more adventures. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.